In this video, we'll learn how to read from a file. To do reading, you have an open function that you can use. It can take mainly the path that you would like to read and some argument here. For the path, I'm passing a relative path data.txt to my current file, and this is the content of the file. R here is a mode argument. It is an argument for the mode, and the mode here is mainly for reading. So R for reading. So when you pass path and an R for open function, it returns for you an object representing this file that you will start reading from it. Observe the following. In line 9, we close the file. When you open a resource, you have to close it again. Now here for the reading, you can iterate on file's content with the following easy way. For line in file, let's print the line here. Observe the following. I am printing the line without \n here ending. However, when the file content was printed, the content was printed as if there is \n. The reason behind that is each line here would be read and eventually will end with a \n. So even without a \n here, is going to be printed line by line like they follow the file exactly. Let's see more. There are more functionalities available for you from the file one. The first one is file.readLine, and this is going to read only a single line for you, which here the word hello. The second one is .readLines. The function .readLines will read all of the content and return it here as a list of strings. Observe the content. You notice here the \n in different things here. On the other side, observe also if we try to open a file that doesn't exist, we will get an error, file not found error, which means this path doesn't exist. However, there is something that we are first time to see it, the with statement. It's part of something called context manager. The with statement is something that allow for us to open a file and don't worry at all about closing it. It's going to be closed in all of the cases. Even if you forgot to close it, you don't have actually to close it, and even if there is an exception or any problem, it will be closed. That's why in industry, this is the Pythonic way to open a file, and this is how I would like you to open it. The syntax is as following. Notice the syntax here. We have the open and it's returning file here. The syntax is a bit different. You have here the with, then the file, then the letter as and file. As something, this something would be object, so it's going to open this one and put the object here. So please familiarize yourself with this different way. It is very similar to this line, but there is some context behind the scene that will make sure that this file will be closed in all of the cases. So again, once we are inside the with statement here, the block here can read lines in a very normal way. So please, from now on, stick to reading with the with statement and be familiar with writing it. The way that in many cases you will be reading a file is as following. You can use a .read, which will return for you all of the content. Then you can make a split for this content. You can split lines here, which will make the split lines. You can maybe split based on a comma, as you like. So if you printed it, you can use it. If you would like to process this list in any way, go ahead. For example, you can iterate and make a striping, reversing, whatever you have. Eventually, you have now your file content in a single line. And this is how I actually do most of my main scripts. So .read.split lines is something that's very common, is going to read for you. Observe here, there is no \n in any of these guys. So the .read is going to return a string, but split lines, this split line will be working on this string. So remember, this is very close to in the past when we used to say input.split. The split lines in a very similar way will split it to different lines. Here, remember, this one was \n for a couple of empty lines here, but it's now just a couple of empty strings. So make sure that overall you are familiar with this specific slide. Back to the UTF encoding. So far, we were opening a file as if it was an ASCII file. A file that you can write by your own hand, something that's very natural text like hello, I am Mustafa. But for the binary files, you have to state the encoding. To state an encoding, you provide another parameter encoding here equal UTF-8. I'm having here another file that has this binary content, and I am opening it and printing it. Consider the following trial. I tried to open the file with encoding ASCII. Okay, so this is, if you didn't pass encoding ASCII, this is the default. Remember, it's a bit platform dependent. So for now, I opened this binary file with ASCII. When you do that, you will get an error, Unicode decode error. The word encode and decode means like a transfer from and transfer to. So what happened here is the reading function failed to convert the binary file content here back to the normal text that you expect. Why? Because the encoding of the ASCII is only 128 characters, and this file allows much more than that. So it will fail because the expected range is much bigger than 128. This is what we meant by the binary encoding file and UTF and all of that in the last session. That's all.